7 years ago, it was March, and I spent several hours uh, stirring a kettle. This is a Irish red brew. The Belgian yeast took the nose. It really took over the whole beer, and I let it sit around, and I drank one 4 years ago. I mean, 2020 I drank them. 2021, 2023. Tastes like barley wine. I've had great responses from people. I have about 5 of these left, and here we go. All right. Phone stand. Just forget about it. Forget about phone stand. Hold on. All right, this will serve as evidence that I have a carbonated beer after 7 years. Come on. What's that? Sweet. Nothing on the cork at all. I actually stored it upright. Whoa. Cool. Ah. Oh, that's cool. That's really cool. Okay, that is... All right, what is that? Why does it remind me of like a lime? It smells like cigar. It smells like a cigar. All right. Am I in here? This is pretty radical. All right, here we go. Okay. Yeah, I mean, it smells like it got oaked or something. Ah, yeah. Whoa. Hey, it's still recording. This is a great video. Okay, cool. How am I doing? All right. Okay. And yeah, you can see. Oh yeah, we'll do a quick photo. One more little. Let's get the colors in there. Oh yeah. I'll get a light. Hold on. Okay, we're back with the Nebo. Now that's gonna give you the closest thing to. Oh yeah, look at that. The carbonation's just popping. Look at it lifting. Beautiful. Just beautiful. 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 Oh, should have dressed up for the occasion. This is going to be easy precedent to outdo. No questions there. All right. Okay. Smells great. It's just that there's this like little bit of black stuff on the top. To good health. You know what's funny? This tastes like that Oktoberfest beer. It tastes like the bananas beer. This is funny shit. Well, there you have it. Want to take a look at the black stuff? Tell me I'm going to die from botulism. There it is. See, there's that little speckle of black foam. Oops. This is silly. That's a bad angle. Doesn't taste like botulism. Let's see. Back to me drinking my beer. You know, I've been working really hard for the last 7 years towards this beer. Every year, amount of effort, moving it around, looking at it, keeping it stored. As funny as can be to me. There's got to be a book around here. Man, that is great. This is making my night. Hold on. Whoa, all right. I don't know. I think I've been gone for like 3 minutes. First, I tried to find my book. I wanted to do a poetry reading out of my own book. It's good. And then I couldn't find it, so I tried to find The Warlord of Mars by Edgar Rice Burroughs. This is the only cool book that I could find. I keep it in my display because when I read this in 2000 and that's a tough one. It was either 2010 or 2014. Let's see what page this. I know because I can almost remember, at what point he was where. Blacktooth St. George, and then, but I really don't remember the order of it at all. Let's just randomly open it up to this page. It was chapter 10. Okay, the trip to New Rome would require at least 3 months, perhaps longer, the time depending on, to some extent, on the distance which Francis could. Crummagin! The Crummagin! The Crummagin! Cover before the inevitable band of robbers relieved him of his ass. This would be his mule. He would be traveling alone and unarmed, carrying only his bindle stiff. Whoa! Another one fell. Civilized brute. This was fate. There we go. That was good stuff. I have no idea what a bindle snip is. No idea. Begging bowl, in addition to the relic and its illuminated replica. He prayed that ignorant robbers would have no use for the latter. For, indeed, among the bandits of the wayside were sometimes kindly thieves who took only what was of value to them and permitted their victim to retain his life, carcass, and personal effects. Others were less considerate. Now, this is funny because this is something that bothers me. I've never thought about it more in the last 2 years. I'm totally over the whole romanticism around secret society of thieves living in sewers that smell like shit, or any of that cool like medieval stuff. Like the first thief I ever learned of was Sergio, and his mentor. No, he mentored this dude Alec, and that was when there was Nysander, or maybe it was Nacor. It was one of those two, I'm pretty sure. Nacor, no, Nacor was Raymond D. Feist. He's the orange guy that was part of Pug. If you ever heard of Pug, Pug was one of the strongest wizards we've ever encountered. One of the coolest. Nysander might be the one. Yeah. Yep. All right. So the point is, in general, like I just don't like taking, even in video games, I don't like taking things from NPCs. I'm loving this new Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. Go out there. It was tough, but I'm good at killing deer now. I can sell deers, wolves. I can make a ton of potions. Looting the dead. But then you're indirectly looting the thief, and the thief's bounty, which is an innocent villager, innocent person. They were just robbed. All of their possessions, they're all in their hands. So am I just a bandit on the game? I'm killing a felon, a convicted, a terrible highwayman, a robber, a bandit. I'm just like, it's like I'm not even identifying the villager. I'm not delivering any of their personal effects to their most immediate family. And it's amazing. I don't have any one that has any immediate use for, well, I mean, that's a whole other story. So one of my favorite wizards of all time would be Zardus from Original Gothic. And I think that Zardus ties in very strong to this whole entire theme too. Zardus, this is 2002, I think, 2004, when they made the Original Gothic. And the Nameless Wanderer, not the Nameless Wanderer from 1999, Planescape Torment, where Scottish Immortal was rediscovering weird caves and stuff, like leftover mementos. He left himself like buried in his immortal flesh with writing, or in it, like these weird flashbacks, so he could outmaneuver himself, maneuvering the Lady of Pain. It was a very cool Planescape Torment. It was cool. As a precaution, Brother Francis wore a black patch over his right eye. The peasants were a superstitious lot and could often be routed by even a hint of the evil eye. Thus armed and equipped, he set out to obey the summons of the Sacerdos Magnus, that most holy Lord and ruler Leo Papas the 21st. Okay, now he's going to meet a robber nearly 2 months after leaving the abbey. The Holy Church, not the Valley of the Mistborn, the world, natural law, divine law of love, natural rights of man, divine revelation. Let's go. Omnis sancte martyres orate pro nobis. When the litany was finished again, Monsignor Malfredo Aguera made his plea to the Pope, asking that the name of Isaac Edward Leibowitz be formally enrolled in the calendar of saints. Again, the guiding spirit was invoked as the Pope chanted the Vine Creator Spiritus. And yet a third time, Malfredo Aguera pleaded for the proclamation, Sugge ergo Petrus ipsi. At last it came. The 21st Leo intoned the decision of the Church rendered under the guidance of the Holy Spirit, proclaiming the existing fact that an ancient and rather obscure technician named Leibowitz was truly a saint in heaven, whose powerful intercession might and of right ought to be reverently implored at. Our feast day was named for a mass in his honor. Holy Leibowitz, intercede for us. Brother Francis breathed with the others after a brief prayer. The choir burst into the Te Deum. After a mass honoring the new saint, it was finished. Escorted by 2 scarlet liveried Sedari of the outer palace, the small party of pilgrims, antechambers. That's bizarre. I just kind of... I didn't expect that. Ooh. Let's see. Let's see what happens. Dom Paulo shrugged. He's only the poet, sirrah. The scholar puffed a breath of amusement. He prodded at the vitreous spheroid and rolled it across the table with his thumb. Suddenly he laughed. I rather like that. I think I know who does need it more than the poet. Perhaps I'll keep it after all. He picked it up, tossed it, caught it, and glanced doubtfully at the abbot. Paulo merely shrugged again. Thon Taddeo dropped the eye back in his pouch. He can have it if he ever comes to claim it, but by the way, I meant to tell you, my work is nearly finished here. We'll be leaving in a very few days. Aren't you worried about the fighting on the plains? Ton Taddeo frowned at the wall. We're to camp at Butte, about a week's ride to the east from here. A group of our escort will meet us there. I do hope, said the abbot, relishing the polite bit of savagery, that your escort group hasn't reversed its political allegiance since you made the arrangements. It's getting harder to tell foes from allies these days. The Thon reddened, especially if they come from Texarkana. You mean? I didn't say that. Let's be frank with each other, Father. I can't fight the prince who makes my work possible, no matter what I think of his policies or his politics. I appear to support him superficially, or at least to overlook him. All right, quick side note. Are we recording? This is fun. 81%, they did a study, 81% of mosques in the United States are preaching messages of hate against the non-Muslim. That would be American citizens like you and I. It's not cool. It's not acceptable. I appear to support him superficially, or at least to overlook him for the sake of the collegium. If he extends his lands, the collegium may incidentally profit. If the collegium prospers, mankind will profit from our work. The ones who survive, perhaps. True, but that's always true in any event. No, 12 centuries ago, not even the survivors profited. Must we start down that road again? Don Taddeo shrugged. What can I do about it, he asked crossly. Hannigan is prince, not I. But you promised to begin restoring man's control over nature. But who will govern the use of power to control natural forces? Who will use it? To what end? How will you hold him in check? Such decisions can still be made. But if you or your group don't make them now, others will soon make them for you. Mankind will profit, you say, but whose sufferance? The sufferance of a prince who signs his letters X? Or do you really believe that your collegium can stay aloof from his ambitions when he begins to find out that you are valuable to him? I think that's funny. He's like, a prince that signs his letters X. And, we have forests that were planted like 200 years ago for good wood to build nice wooden ships so that we could continue to trade and build wooden sailboats. And, it's amazing, the foresight. But in order to compose something, you have to be deliberate about it, and then everyone has to exercise that same entrance and exit. He blessed it, and some say the oil changed to wine when he blessed it. And then, hic est animum Calix sanguinis, my, and he drank it before they hung him and set him on fire. Shall I read you a list of our martyrs? Shall I name all the battles we have fought to keep these records intact, all the monks blinded in the copy room for your sake, yet you say we did nothing with it, withheld it by science. Okay, cool. You want to hear about the octave of all saints? Let's go to the end of the book. His scalp prickled. The dread one, whined the old woman. Quickly, in act of contrition, he muttered, 10 aves, 10 paternosters for your penance. You'll have to repeat the confession again later, but now, an act of contrition. He heard her murmuring from the other side of the grill. Swiftly, he breathed in absolution. Te absolvit Dominus Jesus Christus ego autem as actorite te absolvo ab omni vinculo. Dinici si absolvi potes ex peccatis twis ego te absolvo in nomine Patris. Wait till it dies. Mrs. Grails. I never meant to, never love. This is a great book. Okay, I'm going to get another one. This is fun. The Monk Beer. All right, this is another one I have sitting around. In reverence to Saint Leibowitz, we'll take a passage from his blessed illuminated scriptures. Let's see what we got here. Therefore, the circuit behaves largely inductive, since what is this? I can't. The variable x. I can't remember why it's a little m. Xm is the dominating element in the equivalent circuit, and the power factor is therefore small. With increased loading, the resistance decreases quickly since the slip increases. Therefore, it rapidly becomes the dominating element in its branch, with a corresponding large improvement in the overall circuit power factor with increasing loads. The rotor current in figure 8.8 in stator terms is amps equals voltage over resistance of the stator plus the R of the R, the slip factor, and then the J, which was on a different page. What is J? XS minus XR. Forgot. That might be a joule. Come on, J. It's been a while. The rotor speed, the slip. This is some good stuff. Rotation of stator magnetic fields. That's great stuff. 3-phase 220 volt 60 hertz 6-pole 10 horsepower induction motor has the following circuit parameters on a per basis referred to the stator. So it's like a 0.344 ohms. That's so low. I haven't done this exercise in too many years to really talk about it and make it cool. Hey, here I am looking pretty good. I was just in Massachusetts dancing. There's like another one. This is a pretty nice one. This is my roommate. This fun girl. We lived together happily. Half-wave diode rectifiers. The simplest rectifier circuit consists of a single diode operating into a resistive load, as shown. It's cool. You can make DC power. That's cool. All right. Thank you, Leibowitz. The new edition of Ryff's electric machinery reflects changes that incorporate current topics and more usable pedagogy. Pedagogy. In response to many sound suggestions from instructors and practicing professionals in technology, Ryff has incorporated the following new material. More solid-state controllers in Chapter 4 on DC motors, all-day energy efficiency on Chapter 7 on transformers, induction motors and speed controls in Chapter 8, together with solid-state drives. Many special machines in Chapter 9 on single-phase motors, including stepper motors. As before, Ryff's philosophy remains the same. Present the topics in electric machinery using physical concepts rather than mathematical concepts. The computer programs now reflect this embedded user-friendliness. The computer programs have been changed to Fortran, allowing for easier conversion to other language if needed. And approximately 20 new chapter-ending problems have been added. Answers to almost all the problems are also included. Prentice Hall. This was actually like Peter Ryff wrote this book. So cool. It was so cool. My instructor was Foster at GRCC. This is, where does it say the year, the production print? What? 1994. This is the 1994 one. Anyway, this is a good book. Very cool. But that's not the book I went to find. Hold on. All right, I have no idea what happened. I had a specific title in mind. It's gone. Completely gone. All right. I'm back. I was reading it one day and now it's not there anymore. All right, we'll do a passage from Don Juan. I just talked to this fella. I think I wrote his name and number down. Don Juan said that we had to wait for an omen before we knew what to do with the woman who was interfering with my hunting. If we see or hear a crow, we'll know for sure that we can wait, and we'll also know where to wait. I think that's just silly. I can't leave it on that one because I don't want to. Great. The gate of power. This will help somebody. There was an air of bewilderment in Don Juan's look. He was holding a bag of groceries I had brought in. He carefully placed them on the ground and sat down in front of me. And he felt encouraged and explained that I wanted to know if death was a person or like a person when it watched a warrior's last dance. What difference does it make? Don Juan asked. I told him that the image was fascinating to me and I wanted to know how he had arrived at it. A man of knowledge knows that death is the last witness because he sees. So that's all we're going to get out of that. All right, here's a neat book I grabbed when I was on a trip out over there into Sweden. No, I was in Iceland. Grabbed this bad dog. This isn't the sayings. I thought this was the sayings of it. Oh, wow. William B. Williams. If the Asir were historically real, then it follows that Asir must have had a leader. What was his name? Fred, Ralph, or Odin? Snorri Sturluson says his name was Odin, and we have no evidence that his name was anything other than Odin, or one of his 156 epithets, but all referring to Odin. The fact Snorri was incredibly accurate, not only the Hittites, but also the Asir. Why would he begin lying about its leader? Therefore, we have a preponderance of evidence. The leader of the Asir was a man named Odin. Odin is described in Snorri's works, especially Ynglinga Saga chapter 6. He was so handsome and noble to look at when he sat among his friends that it gladdened the hearts of all, but when he engaged in warfare, he showed his enemies a grim aspect. The reasons for this were that he knew the arts by which he could shift appearance and body any way he wished. For another matter, he spoke so well and so smoothly that all who heard him believed all he said was true. This is a good book. It was fun. I don't have more to say. I'm just hitting this stuff. This is one of my most. This is a Swedish man, And I thought I grabbed the cool sayings of the Scandinavians because I was like, oh man, here he is. Carson Clay is his pen name. And he wrote The Forest King. He also wrote Night Crossings. This is an author from, I guess he's from Belmont, or Belmont, yeah, Rockford, Michigan. And let's dive into the very beginning. After a time from the east, they heard horses coming in on a dead run. Andre sent 4 men down to identify the riders and pull them over. They were quick to recognize the young raider knight, Shane, as he came up the trail. He rode alone but held the leads to 3 sweating horses. They signaled him to rein in and follow them up the hill to their campsite. When he had caught his breath, Shane reported to Andre that Lord Randolph had sent him to find them and ordered him to bring along the 3 extra mounts. He wants me to take 1 man from your platoon and ride to Mainz. He also said, Lord Randolph told me to warn the people in the city that bandits roam again in the forest east of the Rhine. It's unsafe to travel here without an armed escort. Spare mounts enable us to ride fast with no breaks until we reach Mainz. Andre told the young knight of their present situation and said he didn't want to alert the brigands of their position. He explained that they were watching the river crossing. If they saw riders approach the river, it would spook them into another getaway attempt. Cool. It's me and Morty right after I left Michigan. 2013. That's great stuff. I wish it was photos of the guys. I never printed out photos of me hanging out with my best friend. Was this guy's son. Oh, cool. Look at these cards. A knight, Eric, takes a caravan over the Alps and across Dalmatia to rescue wounded and stranded crusaders. A girl, Aline, was captured as a child by raiders. Later escaping, she was found in the mountains and saved by Benedictine monks. She is skilled in regional customs and language. Because of this, marauders are evaded, battles are won, and mountains are crossed. Ultimately, the depth of a mother's love for her son is revealed. Oh man, this is such a good. I remember I stuck that back in here. I started her up for a second time, and I like it. Like, this is so cool how he lines stuff up. Like he did a lot of scouting in the Forest King, but right here he's doing it again. Randolph and Sigurd both felt that Will, along with Paul's scouts, would be a wise choice. Eric made out a list that included the following: Elferin, Anders, Bevan, Bodvar, Breton, Cavan, Conlin, Conklbahar, Dirk, Gunnar, Orion, Paul, Soren, Todd, Thomas, Will. Eric had 16 good archers and young men that could be counted on in a fight. He had witnessed their actions personally in previous battles and was sure of their capabilities. They were also all excellent horsemen. Tierra's choices were as follows: Danielle, Ea, Freya, Iwana, Abigail, Katya, Kristen, Lorena. She had chosen 8 proven archers, each of which had exhibited cool heads and bravery in the face of the enemy attack. The last war had given them experience. They had treated injuries, bandaged wounds, and helped the infirm. As with Eric's choices, all were skilled riders. That That evening, the team, including people, horses, and dogs, assembled in the inner bailey. They included Sir Sigurd Tierra with their 8 archers and Eric with 16 raiders. 27 people, 81 horses, and 4 drayhounds would make the journey. Sigurd reviewed the ranks. He then turned to Eric, who gave them specific instructions. From astride his courser, he outlined their orders. There are 7 orders you must strictly follow. First, you will each ride 1 horse and lead 2 as pack animals. All steeds, with the exception of Sigurd's 4 Percherons, are of Arabian breed. This is because of their great endurance. Second, each of you will have 3 mounts to care for. Switch the horse you ride each day so as to not tire any one animal. In this way, the 3 horses under your care will learn your individual riding habits. Third, no animal shall carry a pack greater than 200 pounds. Fourth, each rider has been given 2 bows, 30 arrows, a light sword, lightweight shield, chainmail, and a helmet. Wear your armor and weapons from the start to become accustomed to the feel and weight. Fifth, each rider should have heavy boots, a wool coat, a pack, and 2 wool blankets along with their other personal belongings. Sixth, will be in the saddle a minimum of 12 hours each day. During rest breaks and each night, care for your horses first before you eat, drink, or rest. That's fun. There it is, Knights Crossing. This is a local author right here, published with Tate Publishing. Absolutely outstanding work. I love reading this book. I'm going to read it right now. I'm going to read this book again. I haven't read it for 10 years. All right. Lots of love. See ya. This is, my dad gave me his old cool couch. So it's fun sitting there. You know, it's a good time. Thanks. And then I brought this home from Massachusetts, and I had to take it inside for the snow. So here it is. Yeah. And it's great to have. Yep.